Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyper Roll with Autarch and more in our series of dumb luck. And if you play Hyper Roll this season, you will no doubt run into this toxic portal. And I call it toxic only because you can end up with stuff like this. When you can get a Mythic and Invoker on the same portal, it makes it really easy to go Mythic Invoker, which is a natural combination anyway, due to Lilia being a Mythic and an Invoker. And it's time to look at the first set of augments, and Pick of the Litter's looking pretty tempting, but we'll roll the others just in case. But the thing with Pick of the Litter is there are two Mythics at 3, and we get a choice of both of them. So since we already got a Bard, we start with a 2-star Bard, and we can bring in our Cho'Gath, and we're now ticking Mythic. Early results here shouldn't be surprising. We're starting with a 2-star 3 cost, and we have it ticked up in terms of traits. One of the things that bothers me about Wandering Trainer is when you get augments like this, it makes it really easy for some people and impossible for others. By stage 4, we are already at 5 Mythics, so yeah, it's gonna be pretty easy to win at this point. The question will come down to, at the end of this match, whose trainer helped them the most. Now, something that can make this even more OP would be a Mythic emblem. And, we get a spatula. And a spatula plus a tier is going to equal a Mythic emblem, which is going to allow us to go to 10 Mythic. And we're going to be able to do it without having to take up all 10 slots, because one of them is going to be the trainer in the middle of the board. And when people ask me about this season and I say too much RNG, this is what I'm talking about. You can get certain trainers that will pretty much guarantee you top 4, and then you're just fighting out for first or second. There are other ones you're going to get that are just not going to be helpful really at all. The traits don't match well, and you're ultimately knowing you're going out in the bottom 3. And we head into the second set of augments, and nothing really exciting in this first group. Then, after we roll them, Mythic Crest. So, it's a tough choice. We don't need it. We don't need it. We could use it, because it'll make getting to 10 that much easier. So, we're going to go ahead and take it. But we could have used what we already had. But this now frees up the spatula for other things if we can get them. And while you might be looking at it going, well, put that Rage Blade on Bard, because it's Rage Blade, Hextech, Gunblade, Static Shiv in a Mythic build that are going to be your best items, I'm holding that needlessly large rod for Lilia because I want her to be the carry, and not to be too cocky about this, but when I saw I had Mythic Invoker on the Wandering Trainer, I kind of knew top 4 was going to happen and I didn't need to push it. And here's someone who got Mythic on their trainer, but it didn't pair with Invoker. Now, Mythic Invoker is shared by 2 people. It's Kog'Maw and Lilia. And while Kog'Maw isn't necessarily strong, Lilia can carry a game. So you're really lucky if you get Mythic Invoker together. And then, just for added injury, we also got Warden, and one of the strongest tanks in Mythic is Nautilus, who also so happens to be a Warden. So we can get the Hullbreaker for him and then separate him, and that's going to be some big CC going into the backline. With an additional rod that we picked up, we can finally put that Rage Blade on Bard. And yeah, it's getting a little silly, and I'm feeling bad when I'm actually seeing what other people got on their trainers and traits like Ghostly that isn't really going to help, because it's a much more active trait. It's not necessarily going to help their build that much to have it on a trainer. And we head into our final set of augments, and they are Prismatic. Infernal Contract, I don't even comprehend why anyone would get that. I've never seen it work. But we end up getting an Invoker Crown, which is just, that's going to add insult to injury, because it's going to be very easy now to get to the 10 Mythic and 6 Invoker. And this is the Dumb Luck series, so with a 1% chance, we managed to get an Azir, and we went ahead and put a Mythic emblem on Azir, because he will now be a Mythic Invoker as well. And it's going to allow us to keep rampaging through this match. The one thing we hadn't gotten lucky yet was getting Lilia, who was really my plan to be the main carry of this team, but at this point now, we can pick up that additional tier, put Lilia in for Kog'Maw, and then give her the blue buff and the Rabadon's Death Cap, and then we can even throw a Morellonomicon on her just for the added burn. Why not? But we are now up to 9 Mythic, so in the next round, we can go to 10. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we also picked up Annie and made her Mythic as well, so we have her in the front line right now, ultimately blocking the Hull Breaker, but we're going to fix that. For now, we were just trying to get an additional tank item, but we'll go with the Adaptive Helm on Annie, and she is going to be a really nice tank, and the Nashor's Tooth can go onto Azir. Now, this is another trainer that works really well because it's got Behemoth and Arcanist, and those are both traits that can impact kind of the whole team or have really good effects on the trainer. The Behemoth is going to make it bigger, tougher to get through. They have a gold 3-star Malphite that works into it, and they're able to get through us. At the end of the NPC round, we have enough bards to go to a gold 3-star bard. I could go with Static Shiv for Bard, but I'd rather shore up the front line a little bit more and get a Dragon's Claw onto Nautilus so he, with his additional health, can hold things up a bit more. We're still short that 2-star Lilia that will really help this team out. And we are now at the 10 Mythic, so every Mythic is now Legendary, and we can go ahead and put the Invoker symbol on Bard. So in Stage 9, we're at the 10 Mythic, 6 Invoker, and I often see a lot of Wandering Trainer matches play out like this. We are now into the top 4, but notice that 3 of the people all have 14 health. This is the RNG I'm talking about. And I take the Deathblade for Bard. It's not necessarily the best item. Static Shiv would have been generally better in a Mythic build, but we're not running any other AD, so I want to use his AD to offset someone just being able to stack Dragon's Claw or similar items against us. And I want to bring in an Arcanist as our final champion in this, because that'll just give an additional boost to all the champs on the team. That also, like I mentioned, is a team-wide trait. And it's the team-wide traits that often do well on Wandering Trainers that aren't as impactful on the individual units. And we've managed to find a Lysandra to bring in as the Arcanist, so we're going ahead and just filling out what we can right now with the items we have. We could get more because of Lysandra. I'm really looking for one final item for Azir, because he's the only backliner who isn't really set. Kog'Maw just is in for the traits. The Spear of Sojin will actually be perfect. It'll allow Azir to cast more often. And with Mythic, he's getting the AP bonus, and with Nashor's Tooth, the increased speed. And as you can see, this is going to be a very, very difficult team to beat, if it's even possible. Maybe if someone can get a gold 3-star 4 or 5, they would have a chance. Otherwise, we're just going to chew through opposing teams fairly quickly. And normally you finish off a Mythic team with Wei, and I hadn't gotten 2 stars yet. Here we have the opportunity, so we're going to go ahead and take out Nico and bring in Wei. Now the nice thing is, because we're at the 10 Mythic, they come in as Legendary. And we're also going to go ahead and move Azir over to the Wei Circle so that we might have a chance of getting an additional Azir. This would depend on how it all falls out. We'd have to lose some and then end up in a prolonged battle. But I just don't know if this team is going to lose again before the match is over. And we end up just 2 Azirs away from gold, but we would ultimately need this match to play out. They're in a 1v1. We are going to face the winner of that, because we're against the Ghost team right now, which should not be too much of an issue. If we then win that next fight, game's over. If we lose the fight, then we might have a chance to get to the gold 3-star Azir. And we end up against an Ink Shadow Mythic team with the Udyr with a Dragon's Claw on him. And he's very strong, but that's part of what worked out so well for us with Bard and why he had the Deathblade on him. He will chew through since there's no armor there. And that will allow us to fairly easily win, and it's GG for everyone. So, wandering trainers, yeah, it's dumb luck. Don't feel bad when you lose with them, and don't feel like you've really accomplished something when you win. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.